recreating
recreating the use again, yeah.
Right.
But unfortunately, you throw away all the bits you kept for years and years, don't you? And then you've got to buy them all back at exorbitant prices.
How long did it take you to actually put together then?
I suppose I had it sat in the shed for like 2 years doing nothing and fiddle around with these things. So I suppose 3 years by the time you ever get it on the road again.
So you've had it on the road about 12 years?
About 12 years, yeah. It's had it in about 14 years, I suppose.
Right.
Talking points, aren't they? Wherever you pull up, they're eye catchers, and,
that's
and
right.
people like to.
Are you planning to do anything more to it?
Only rebuild it again, I think. Yeah,
oh, right.
Yeah, rebuild it. I think that's what it could do with now. It's had a few years of not neglect, but
right. You're not tempted to put some modern brakes on it? Or?
No, that front John Tickle brake is fantastic.
It is, isn't it?
That twin leading shoe. You stop anything. Yeah, amazing. Really good. I'm very pleased with that. That shoe, yeah. In fact,
was that off another bike, or did you buy that?
No, he came with the bike. He came with the bike. Yes, yeah. They're mega bucks now. Those shoes.
The original John.
John Tickle stuff. Yeah. So I was really pleased to have that. Yeah.
I like the feeling of freedom sat on the back.
Yeah. Camaraderie, and it's
the
good.
camaraderie.
You don't have to speak to the hubby while he's driving along.
No.
No, I definitely don't. It's good fun.
They'll definitely build another special, I think, because they are, as the word is, special, aren't they? You know.
What do you fancy?
I think I'd revamp one of these, but as a real special with the knee-hole tank, and go a bit more upmarket with it now.
Right.
Now the finances can go for that sort of thing, but you can always add to these.
We go on.
These
go on forever.
things go on forever. Oil filters and various other things.
We wish you the best of luck in your dreams for the future.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Not a Norton, is it?
No,
it's a special.
It's a 1960s special. This was a 1960 Dominator 88, and it was converted in 1965 to a Triumph Tiger 100 engine. It's got a BSA Gold Star gearbox on it.
What, a double RT2?
Yes.
Also, it's got a big high bottom gear then.
Which was quite difficult getting over Zigzag Hill.
You did well.
Yeah. So I say the bike has got Norton Manx front forks and rear, which is all very nice, but makes it very taut and firm.
Right.
Potholes you feel.
But hopefully it keeps you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah. Yes, it's very nice.
And how long have you had it?
Just 12 months now. I bought it from a person in the vintage club who'd had it all his life, so to speak, for the last 40 years.
Have you always wanted one, or is it just that the fancy took you when you
well, as you know, I had a 33-year gap from motorcycling, and I came back thinking I wanted to go back to where I'd finished, and I hadn't ever owned a Triton, or I'd helped build one for a friend with a Bonneville engine in, and I thought, well, that would be quite nice to go back to something like that.
Right.
And goes nicely with the Ducati.
Did it come from a friend, or did you just come across it by accident?
No, it was advertised in the Vintage Motorcycle Club magazine.
Yeah.
And picked up from that. It's certainly been good for me, because you've come back to people that are very friendly. You talk to them as though you've known them all your life, even though you've never seen them before. Wherever I stop with this bike or my other Ducati, people talk to me. It's great. Certainly don't get that with cars.
Doesn't really perform that well under sort of 50 miles an hour. You get more enjoyment from the machine 50-60 miles an hour and upwards, and that's what it was designed to do, and it is more comfortable at that speed, not only the bike and myself as well, because with it being so high geared and no tick over with a GP carburettor, it's much easier to ride if you get a little bit of a pace on.
Well, I must admit, it does sound lovely.
Thanks very much.
Certainly making the earth shake as you passed us going up.
Yeah, I'm still shaking as well. That's one thing with British bikes, you end up being a part of the machine. Quite narrowed down to essentially to give you more clearance on the gear change.
Yeah.
But, I've got an original silencer at home, which is the barrel that goes through there rather than this piece. I've just acquired a headlamp after 2.5 years of looking, the deep one, which was only for 1965/66.
Right.
Cost me an arm and a leg, but it will be a feature of the bike next year, hopefully. So,
Right.
yeah, I've got the history of it now sorted. It has been raced in production racing back in the early 70s. And but never in the TT. It's been around sort of
Club circuits.
Club circuits, yeah.
Clive,
Hi, David.
chairman of our club. Thanks for coming out today. This is your beauty, and the most distinctive thing about it, I always think, is the fact that I think it's got Ducati side panels on.
That's correct.
That
Yes,
must make it
that is correct.
absolutely unique.
Yes, Ducati side panels, Ducati yokes, in fact.
Right. And the forks are also special.
The forks are about 74 Honda.
Yeah.
The front,
You've got a twin leading shoe brake there.
yes,
Oh, double-sided twin.
double-sided front, yes. The,
And that's off a
a GT 750 Suzuki, about 71.
that looks like they're man for the job. Does it?
Yes,
Actually,
once they've run in, they're reasonable, yes. And
Right.
but the rear brake's very good indeed, and that's a 500T Suzuki.
Right.
That certainly is. That's an ordinary single caliber one, and it is very effective. Very effective.
And you've got a two into one exhaust.
That, in fact, is a Unity
Yeah.
system. They're
Oh, it's
very
a complete,
helpful.
complete one-piece unit, is it?
It's a 2-into-1, and no, it's 3-piece.
Right.
Very short angular part there.
Yeah. But the Ducati side panels, I always think makes that actually identifies your bike.
Yes, I think the problem with most Tritons is there's a big triangular gap here, which normally, of course, the oil tank goes in with, and you fill it.
Right.
You see, in this case, this is an original, or late 60s aftermarket Dave Deegan's tank, which has got petrol in the front and oil in the back. So there's plenty of room in behind these panels for the battery, electronic ignition.
Well, that's good, because
etc.
normally the battery seems to get left out.
Indeed, yes. Yeah.
And it's actually proved quite reliable, I think, for you.
Well, I've built a few over the years. This is the first complete Triton I've built. I built some hill climb specials for myself in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And certainly this was built with a view to being able to keep up with modern day traffic. It's a relatively light bike.
And you've geared it quite high,
Yes, indeed,
so you
yes.
can do that.
The standard 20-tooth gearbox sprocket onto a 36, which is the standard 500T rear,
Right.
gives it in fact about 80 miles an hour at just under 4,000 RPM.
Right.
So it doesn't hurt the engine at all.
No.
It's got a full modern oil filter system on it as well, and it is very reliable. It's been down to the Ace Cappy reunion a couple of times, down to Brighton twice.
So that's done 300 or 400 miles in a day on several
Yes.
occasions.
Yes, There's parts of me that won't do 300 or 400 miles in a day, but the bike does.
Not anymore.
Yeah, the aftermarket dials on it, clocks, which are very good from MPS. In fact, because in the late 50s, when I started riding, 57 through to 64, 65, one couldn't afford a modern motorcycle. We were both apprentices, as you know. But again, being in engineering, a lot of this is very simple for us. And I've been collecting these parts since the early 70s. The fiberglass tank, which is a genuine aftermarket 60s item. Dave Deegan's or Dunstall built one very similar. I think the tank on most motorcycles is what makes or breaks it, and the combination of that with the side panels and the paint job's very good as well, which I didn't do.
Right.
But yeah, it's something we've built ourselves, and I think that's what makes it special.
Kevin, thanks for coming along today.
Pleasure.
This is a very special, and you actually call it a KSS because it's a Kevin Somays special.
Absolutely.
Why did you build this?
Well, I'd always fancied a 441 motor on the road. Learned
the old Jeff Smith World Championship.
That's right. Always thought there was a lot of potential in it, and learned to ride on a C15. And thought one day I'd do it, and I did. About 5 years ago, it started to come together.
Right. And how's it turned out? Has it achieved all
yeah, it's been good. It's done everything I wanted it to. It's quite quick. It's light. It handles well.
You say it's light. You say it's 273 pounds. I mean,
absolutely.
That's an amazingly low weight for what must be quite a powerful engine.
It is. The power to weight ratio is good. It's about 31 brake horsepower in this form.
Yeah.
So it's very light and very manageable. Lots of grunt.
Right.
Good hill climbing and capabilities. And we actually weighed it on the bathroom scales. Don't tell the wife.
Of course. You actually made the tank, the petrol tank and the oil tank yourself,
the oil tank's homemade, yeah. That was a design.
Tucked away up in under the seat.
That's right. We had to come up with something that would hold the battery as well. And it was an idea that my eldest boy came up with. And,
right.
The seat as well is homemade because what I wanted was too big really, and that was covered by a local upholsterer. It's all made of aluminium.
Yeah.
The tank is a Manx tank, which we've cut in half and taken about 5 or 6 inches out the middle and put that together again.
So it's a very special. And but basically it's a 250 Fleet Star, right?
It's a 250 Fleet Star frame with the Victor engine in it.
Did you have to do any modifications to the frame in order to get the engine in?
No, the engine's interchange, drops straight in. Got the rolling chassis first of all from a chap in Stroud, a well-known scrambler supplier, and then got the engine, later he found the engine in the States for me.
Really?
It is a bit special. I mean, it's unique, there is only the one, but it is just very nice to ride. It just does everything I hoped it would, and just came together exactly as it did, and not many things seem to do that.
Hello Dave, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. You've had a long trip to get here today.
But it's been worth it.
Oh, good.
Really good.
Glad you've enjoyed it.
A bit like the Spirit of the 60s, you know, everything's there.
Only on a smaller scale.
Smaller scale.
But everybody seems to be enjoying it.
Oh, I think it's been great, yeah. Really worth coming out.
Great. Now, this is archetypal Triton. This is a real Triton.
Well, I would like to think so, but...
This is basically old Triumph motor.
Yes, it's all sort of round the 57 mark, both the frame and the engine.
Yeah.
So it took me about some 10 years to put together, along with all the other projects you get to do.
So how long have you had it on the road then?
Only about 2-3 years, I think, totally.
Right.
Done about 2,000 miles or so. Not too
Oh, so
long.
you do use it a bit?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I run with the AJS mob, and you kindly invite me to their meetings for a Sunday in the month.
You're an honorary member.
Honorary member with a Triton, so
Right.
it goes.
And
yeah.
you come down to the Spirit of the 60s on this?
Oh yes.
2 years, 3 years?
3 or 4 years now. Yes.
Right.
Yes, the best program of the year, really. I think.
What you particularly like about the bike now that you've built it?
Well, I suppose the overall sort of generic statement is it was the dream I always wanted when I was, 16 years old or whatever.
Right.
And it's all come together very nicely. I mean, the paint job is
Is unique?
Is unique.
Yeah.
And I
What
try to keep
colour
it-
is it?
It's actually it's a Rover colour, pearlescent red from the
Oh,
Rover
yeah.
cars.
Right.
And I really try to keep it a bit understated. I mean, you don't see the word Triton on it, and I try to keep it slim and neat and tidy, and I think I've achieved what I set out to do.
Yeah. Basically, it is a Norton.
It's a wide line frame, it's registered 57 as well. I managed to get a logbook with the frame. They were just 2 lumps of iron when I bought it all those years ago.
Right.
Some of the mods I've made, which I like, are the electronic speedos and rev counters.
So where are they driven from then?
Well, because it's one of the early alternators, that was fairly easy to make the rev counter drive from an alternator, which cars do today.
Yeah.
And the speedo was just an idea I came up with. Took a cruise control unit from an ordinary motor car,
Yeah.
screwed it onto the gearbox,
Right.
which gives me so many pulses, and just put an electronic thing on it, and it's absolutely spot accurate.
Right. And it's actually managed to withstand the
Yeah,
vibration,
the vibration,
of the old parallel
yeah, it
twin.
does, yeah, that does as well.
Is it 650?
It's 650. It's not been tuned well. I've got 91 pistons in it, and that's all. But there were some original Hepalites I had
Yeah.
hanging on the shelf.
Do you run it on unleaded or?
Yeah, seems to run fine.
Good.
And I had the crankshaft was dynamically balanced. That was the best £50 investment in the bike.
So it is fairly smooth. to
Fairly smooth, virtually through the whole rev range. I mean, not entirely. I mean, after all, it is a Triumph.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really made the difference.
Right.
Single carb, not too much to tune in, and it just doesn't, touch wood wherever it is. It really doesn't let me down.
And
at all.
what's the longest trip you've done on it?
I don't really know. It's perhaps down to your place and around the whole run, I guess.
Right.
I'm really a local guy. I'm a fine weather man, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we do go out.
Well, when you build a special like this, you've got to try and keep it fairly all together, although use it for state occasions.
Absolutely. I mean, the pain about it is keeping the chrome work up.
Yeah.
I'm extremely pleased with.
Is it a Dunstall tank or
No, it was a tank which I got from Unity.
Unity?
It's a slim one rather than the larger ones you generally see on
Yeah.
the other Tritons.
Your theme being keeping it small and light.
Light and slim, and,
What's special to you? What's been the best thing about it to you?
starting it up the day I finished it, because it was a dream that I thought I'd never have, and it's come true.
Right.
My brother had one, my friends had one, I didn't. And 40 years later, nearly, I've got one, and that's
Well
why it's a
done.
dream come true.
And it's lived up to your expectations?
Oh, very much so. A little uncomfortable, but that's my age. But for the rest, yeah, it's really a dream come true.
Great. get a place by the side of the road, then follow Clive, not too close.
2 weeks later.
That's right. There's one on the right, just as we go out. Something like that, okay?
I'll point
Henry will be right up the top of the hill. Go, keep going up the hill. So you see Henry,
Have you ever had any of that? Well, so under my kneecap once. Yeah.
you all right, Ben?
Bending over.
No, you have to be harder.
Right, John. You're used to filming, aren't you, John?
Not coloured films.
Have you done any other films besides Moonraker?
Done a lot for BBC Natural History at Bristol.
Oh, really? What, aerial shots or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. You're not the chap that follows those birds along.
No, the birds follow the camera. They train them to follow the camera.
Anyway, when you're down on the ground, you ride this very nice 850 production race Commando.
Yes, sir. I try to ride it.
Right, it's a beast by all accounts,
Yeah,
because it was tuned for racing and it was raced for many years.
By Clive Brotherwood,
yeah,
a Westlands man.
That's right. So there's probably lots of Westlands bits on here, but we won't.
It's very shiny inside. It looks like Westlands.
it's polished.
Yeah,
but it was built by Clive to go racing.
Yes.
But you've only had it a couple of years.
Just over a year, 18 months actually. Bought it.
It took your fancy at the spirit of the 60s,
yeah, the guy wanted my Triumph, and as soon as I saw this, I thought animal, my sort of thing. But it's too tall for me and too long, really.
Right.
Can't do anything about that.
But
I do like it.
But you like it enough to keep it?
Oh,
yeah?
sure.
What's it like to use on the road?
A pig.
A pig?
Yeah.
Well, all the time, or?
Well, it's better now it broke the bottom gear. It kicked back one day and smashed bottom gear in the box, and
really?
Lots of bits and pieces inside. But it was a close ratio box, and
right.
I think Zigzag Hill would definitely have been a no-no.
No, right. The clutch wouldn't have lasted long. So you've got an ordinary road box in there now, haven't you?
Yeah. Makes it a lot easier now.
Right. But presumably on A roads, or dual carriageways, it actually zooms along quite well.
It goes very like a modern bike.
Yeah. Well, the Commando was really like a modern bike.
Yeah, but it's noisier and
if anything
no electric start.
If anything got reliability sorted out and got electric start, it would still be going today.
I fell in love with it. It's like a beautiful hairy ass monster, and I love it. And it really is the sort of thing I like. It really is. But I am too short and my arms aren't long enough. The mechanical side of it I love. Handles beautifully, goes well. It's a lovely machine. Should be shorter and lower.
Dave, creator of two amazing Norton Velos, one of which you call a Norton Venom, and one which you call a Norton Velo.
Yeah.
Why did you do it?
I don't know really. That one was a Venom engine, so it sounded better than Norton Velo at the time, so I just went for Venom, but I should have called that one a Norton Viper, I suppose.
But why did you put... I know other people have done it in the past, but they're very rare. I don't think I've ever seen one as such. What was your dream that wanted you to make...
I don't know, I think they're just a nice engine to work on, all the nice helical gears inside and that. They're a bit of a...
Yeah. So it's
different sort of engine.
The appreciation of the bits
the nice sort of engineering, and then the slimline frame, which is a nice looking frame.
Right.
I think it's slightly better looking than a Velo frame itself. But
yeah. Well, you've certainly made a lovely job, though aesthetically beautiful, I think. You built this one first, which is the 500.
Yeah.
And then you built the 350.
350, yeah.
Which is the nicer one to ride?
I don't know, lots of people ask me that. They're just different, really. The 500 has obviously got the low down pulling power.
Yeah.
But the 350, once you get it spinning along, it's a sweeter engine than the 500. Right. But you've got to use the use the revs a bit more. So I think I would have liked the 500 really, but it was Velocette being what they are. You can't get them for love nor money these days. So it just happened that a 350 engine came along, which is why it's a 350.
Was there any reason why you chose this colour scheme?
There was some guy who built a Ducati. I seen it at a show, which was that colour scheme, blue and silver. So I thought that was nice. And I'd already done the black one here, so it was just nice to
have a contrast.
Something a bit different. Yeah.
This one won's best special at Stafford.
No, this was the one that this is the one that's been about longer. That one, it won the best special at just the 60s one year, and Stafford. Yeah, that one's won a couple of sort of local runs type, Riders' Choice type trophies. Yeah, I mean they're appealing looking.
Which actually has the best brakes, the sort of standard ones?
No, I think they are better.
That's a Grimeka on.
That's a Grimeka, yeah, four leading. I don't know. It was a boyhood dream. It was just something that I decided to build a special. Quite as I said earlier, like the Velocette engine, and it just sort of matured from that. I built one. And once you built one, you can always see things that you could do better if you were going to do another one. So I thought I'll have a go at another one.
If I remember rightly, you actually went to night school to learn how to do machining. So
well, yeah, I mean, I'd done the engineering apprenticeship, and so I've done the machining over the years. But obviously, you lose touch a bit, and it was a matter of being able to use miller machines and lathes and that just to sort of machine some of the spacers and different length nuts and bolts, and playing around with alternators to put on the end of the crankshaft, things like that. No, I think what I'd like to do is maybe just a Velocette, but in a street scrambler type form with a Velocette engine and a Velocette frame. That would probably be the, if I was to do one again, that would probably be it.